everybody, it's your girl Lady Vasori, and we're talking today about the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. Let's get into it. Now, Sekhmet is the calm before the storm, the silence before the carnage, the sweet before the vengeful. Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of ancient Egypt, is the powerful precursor to the more docile and fun-loving Bastet. Sekhmet is known as the Lady of Terror, Mistress Dread, and Lady of Flame. And yes, she's fierce and a goddess of war, but she also has a protective, healing side that many sources don't tap into. Unlike the lioness, Sekhmet watches over her pride and will hunt and defend as the need arises. Now, who is Sekhmet? Sekhmet is an ancient Egypt goddess of war whose belief and worship was born in Lower Egypt, next to Bastet. Sekhmet is the most important and influential of goddesses in the Egyptian pantheon. She's known as the Eye of Ra, one of his formidable daughters of whom he employed to punish humanity when he got sick of us. She nearly destroyed the entire human species with her wrath and fiery breath. Sekhmet is a lioness, but she is also a representation of the blazing, hot desert sun. Her name likely means strong, powerful, violent, or mighty. Some sources see Sekhmet as a manifestation of the powerful creator god Ra. Her fiery breath not only destroys, but it creates. Now, in addition to using her fiery breath to destroy, she also has the power to call on plagues for future death and destruction. We see a sacred polarity with Sekhmet, as she indeed has a softer side and grants healing to those she deems worthy. In fact, at one point, Sekhmet's physicians were the most well-known and beloved. If you haven't figured out already, Sekhmet is first and foremost a goddess of war and destruction. She is the Eye of Ra, and he called on her to exact his revenge and wrath in the old myths. It is said that when Sekhmet rained wrath down upon humanity, the only way to stop her from destroying us was by pouring out red-dyed beer to trick her into thinking it was blood. Now, she drank it and became highly intoxicated, and this is the only way that stopped her from all of her destruction. She was an act completed by Ra when he realized he had to stop her. Now, Sekhmet is also known to bring plague or epidemics, yet she has the power of giving life and healing only to those that she feels worthy. The 7 arrows of Sekhmet were feared by the Egyptian people, and certain rituals were performed and offerings given to appease this terrifying goddess. Sekhmet is the hot breeze of the desert and a solar deity. Sekhmet is known as a healer, therefore granting life on the other side of death and decay. Now, we mentioned her priests being physicians. They were originally established to worship and honor Sekhmet to appease her and to keep her wrath at bay. Eventually, they will play a crucial role in herbal remedies to those in need of healing. Now, amulets were worn in the shape of Sekhmet to appease her and to evoke her protection and healing. Her priests performed a rite known as appeasing Sekhmet to ward off petulance and plague. Many spiritual healers and magical practitioners today call on her for healing and powerful protection. Now, Sekhmet was frequently depicted as a lion-headed woman with the headdress of a solar disk. Now, often she was seated on a throne and wears a long red dress. This is why she is sometimes referred to as the mistress of scarlet or mistress of red linen. The red dress is a nod to her wrathful nature and fiery breath. Sometimes she has symbols painted over her nipples, which are assumed to be a illustration of a lioness fur or a representation of stars in the Leo constellation, in which she is inherently linked to. Now we're segueing into how to know Sekhmet is calling you. What if Sekhmet was calling you to her as a friend, a devotee, a child? Would you listen and follow her? Work with her to make change in your life? Here are some signs that Sekhmet is calling to you. Lions and lionesses start showing up everywhere on the TV, radio, books, etc. You hear the name Sekhmet over and over in random places and conversations. You are drawn to lions and large cats. Your occupation is in the medical field or alternative healing. Your zodiac sign is Leo or is another fire sign like Sagittarius or Aries. You've drawn to ancient Egypt and the Egyptian pantheon. You descend from the ancient Egyptians. Your phase in life calls for ferocity, standing up for yourself, or even justifiable wrath or revenge. The desert seems to call you, or you feel more aligned with the sun than the moon. Now, everyone's relationship with a spirit or deity and the universe is always unique and special. You might believe in multiple gods and goddesses, and you may work with them as if they were a close friend and ally. Or maybe you believe that the old gods are the reflection of the spirit and universe. However, that you incorporate these myths into your life and into your practice is totally up to you. But here are some ideas to get you started on ways to work with Sekhmet. First, it's all about study, study, study. The first way to get to know someone, specifically a goddess like Sekhmet, is to dive into their history and qualities. You're going to begin by studying the myths, the verses, and incantations featuring this fierce goddess. You need to read about her connection with Ra, synchronization with goddesses like Mut and Hathor, and how she might be the predecessor of the cat goddess Bastet. Then read about the culture from which she arose. Then study some more. You want to keep a section in your journal dedicated to Sekhmet. Another way to honor Sekhmet, and in no particular order, is stand up for yourself. Women are beginning to realize they are their own people, and they're beginning to stand up for themselves. If you find yourself in a situation or a relationship in which you've allowed yourself to be used or abused, Sekhmet is in your life to teach you to stand up for yourself. You need to invoke her power and energy to aid you in speaking your truth, being your own person, and standing in the sunlight of your own soul and personal power. Another way to resonate with Sekhmet is sunbathing. Obviously, Sekhmet is a solar goddess, and therefore she enjoys warmth, she enjoys sunlight and hot climates. So why not get out in the sun and do a little sunbathing like a lioness? Dedicate an altar space to Sekhmet. This is to honor her, to resonate with her, to appease her. This can be an elaborate large altar or a simple small shelf or corner on your counter. You would want to place a representation of Sekhmet there. Please be sure to cleanse the space before you invite her in. Make sure you include her color red, her symbols, and the representation of lions and the sun. This space will be used and will also remind you to connect to her energy and bring that self-protectiveness into your life. Also, offerings are big. Who doesn't like presents? I know I do. And Sekhmet is no different. Give her beer, pomegranate juice she loves, representations of arrows and gold. She loves incense like frankincense, myrrh, and kefi. You do not have to give her offerings every day, only when you feel it is an appropriate time. If you have the funds available, you can also visit Egypt and Sekhmet sacred places. If you have the chance, you would want to consider taking a pilgrimage to Egypt and seek out the places where Sekhmet's energy can still be felt strongly. Karnak is one. The temple of millions of years on the Theban bank in Medinet Habu is another. But truly, you can feel Sekhmet's fiery breath anywhere in the desert of Egypt and in the hot, blazing sun. You'll also find her relics and statues at certain museums through Egypt and in Britain. Another way to tap into Sekhmet's energy is alternative healing. Sekhmet was once a mother goddess of war and healing in ancient times. You can tap into her healing vibrations by learning a mode of alternative medicine. You can consider taking a class or reading a book on herbalism, DNA activation, past life regressions, or even energy healing modalities like Reiki. If you're in need of extra protection at home or at work or anywhere for that matter, call on Sekhmet to guide and shield you. While performing your protection rituals at home, such as cleansing, shielding, and warding, invoke Sekhmet's energy to set up a barrier of fire around your home. She will only allow those with good intent to cross it. Wear an amulet dedicated to Sekhmet while traveling or leaving the home to keep her protective shield around you at all times. Using the fiery wall of protection is a great oil to use as well for Sekhmet. Now, one of the best ways to channel divine energy and harness the energy of any goddess like Sekhmet is to go into meditation and dream work. Ask Sekhmet to visit you in your dreams and to teach you lessons that you currently may need to be learning. Then make sure you record every interaction, every encounter with her in your journal or grimoire. Lastly, study the lioness. If you've never watched the lioness move in the wild, now's your time to. You can always watch videos on YouTube. You can watch documentaries on the TV. You can read books about how lioness hunt to feed their prides and defend their families. This is how the lioness moves, and this is how Sekhmet moves as well. And guys, this is all that I have on the goddess Sekhmet. I hope this helps. I hope it resonates with a lot of you. Go do the work. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, support my channel. It's greatly appreciated. Go and shop some conjure at visionsbybasori.com. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I'm blowing blessings. Bye, y'all.